It seems that the JLaw revenge tour is over before it even began, as Jason Lawrence confirms the rumors from last week that his big comeback with Phoenix Honda is already in the past. Some blame JLaw, some blame Phoenix Honda, and somehow some fans are even blaming Dylan Ferrandis. Welcome back to RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Before we get into this RotoMoto React brought to you by O'Neal, just wanted to mention I am curating an archive of classic races from our sports history over on a brand new channel, the RacerX Video Vault. So if you want to see a classic JLaw versus Dungey battle from the 338's glory days, check the link below and be sure to subscribe over there for weekly updates of the best races our sport has to offer over the past 40 years. Now, on to the JLaw news. To catch you up briefly, Phoenix Honda provided a ride for Jason to race the Ironman GNCC. He was hyped, the team was hyped, the fans were hyped, and this eventually led to them bringing him onto the team to compete alongside defending champion Kyle Peters and company in the Arenacross series. He was training at the Club MX facility, doing interviews with the media and being his own hype man on Instagram, but then radio silence before privateer hero and two-stroke savant Matt Burkeen seemingly broke the news mid-November when he showed up to club and the 338 was nowhere in sight.
I wasn't going to put this in here, but it's definitely going to come out here soon anyway, and it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But apparently the team asked JLaw if he was just using them to get a free ride for a little while or what his intentions were. And he had been digging, he'd been training, so he didn't like that question. I guess he said, if you guys think that's what I'm doing, then I'll just leave now. So I'm not trying to be fake news national or anything, but I heard that straight from somebody who heard it straight from JLaw. So take it for what you will, people, but it seems like that's what happened.
Jason gave us a Black Friday gift laying out his story in a 2-video upload to his Instagram, reading a statement for himself, the first covering the bad of the situation and the second covering the good.
I am no longer riding for Phoenix Honda. I got clipped from that team. So with that means that I don't ride at Club MX any longer, and I'm not racing the AMA Arenacross series. The thing I'm most bummed about is not being local to Club MX and riding there. What I take away from that place is that the sky's the limit there. I think the Arenacross series is badass. You know, not to take anything away from that, I'm no less stoked on it today than I was a month ago. But a huge part of racing Arenacross was the fact that I was riding for Phoenix. And I was riding for him for free, looking to make the money from the Arenacross payout. It's much less appealing to be in my own pocket to get myself to Idaho on December 1st. So maybe you would say put a team together with a couple sponsors to pay for it. Good idea, but I've been down that road and it really didn't work out for me. And then finally about Phoenix Honda, I'm making a point to make the main things that I take away from this situation just be gratitude and appreciation. Because it's kind of easy right now, and I don't want to forget that the thing that has me back hyped on riding was when Phoenix offered to let me race the GNCC at Ironman, one of my best all-time dirt bike riding memories. Plus, I mean, they're the ones who presented the idea of Arenacross in the first place, so whatever fun I had with that plan to ride Arenacross, I owe that to them in a sense. I got to ride that badass bike at a badass track for a week, and for that I'm grateful, so I appreciate you. Alright, and I'm back now with the good news part of this post. I got a new sponsor. And this new sponsor of mine does not get paid by a bunch of companies to field riders in a series like Arenacross. So that's what I mean when I'm saying, like, my new sponsor doesn't give a about racing a series. He just digs riding and racing, and that's the type of deal that I can hold up my end on. I ain't got to eat kale sandwiches and lima beans anymore, and I can go back to lining up ladies, single ladies, in the cities that my events are going to be in. Just common sense. I thought it was a good idea from the beginning. So big shout out to Billy Wank from HBI Auto in North Carolina. HBI like Hater Built Inc. Pretty fitting, I thought.
A few notes here about what JLaw said. The second video goes on much longer, but it doesn't share that much pertinent information, so I did cut it short. Feel free to check out the full upload on Jason's Instagram after this if you would like. It is worth noting that the HBI he is referring to is not the same HBI Racing that made a name for themselves picking up Privateer Hero Ty Master Pole this summer. Instead, that is HBI Racing founded by Matt Bell and based in Florida, whereas HBI Auto is a Porsche dealer that specializes in exotic European cars. And no, the Dylan Ferrandis signing did not take any money from JLaw. Dylan has been talking with Phoenix Honda long before, and I've had it on good authority that they were a front runner long before JLaw racing in arenas was anywhere near the top of the table. As for the he said, she said of it all, it is interesting that Burkeen mentioned in his story that Phoenix accused JLaw of just wanting a free bike, and I've also heard he was getting free room and board as well. In JLaw's statement, he almost seems excited that he no longer has to be restricted to the diet and training regimen at Club MX. And although these two sentiments are not exactly the same, I think we can all derive the origin of the conflict. Jason just wants to race dirt bikes, and I get that. And given how his pro career went, where he rejected authority at every turn, I don't think anyone is surprised about that. In his late 30s, it seemed like a rad idea to get back on the grind until you're actually living it, and I don't think you can fault Phoenix Honda for wanting to make sure his heart is in the right place before they commit to him on that team. Regardless if JLaw would be racing for free, or as he said, the purse money, the team needs to know they are getting a return on their investment of hauling a bike, hiring a mechanic, increasing their parts budget, and transportation costs for the riders. They have a great thing going on over there, locking down the Arenacross championships and moonlighting for a little Supercross exposure. And again, I would not blame them for being a little wary of bringing in a known loose cannon into that very tight dynamic. All in all, it seems like a mutual split that is going to work out for everybody. JLaw got some much needed positive exposure in his life. He sees that he's still cared about, and he parlayed this short partnership into exactly what it seems like he wants: the ability to race locally and maybe even regionally at his leisure with no pressure, and a backer that likes and understands where he is in life. And Phoenix Honda will be competing at a high level, going for another AX title while also competing in all 17 rounds of Supercross with former outdoor champion Dylan Ferrandis aboard a 450. Do not forget to pop over and check out the video vault if you want more moto content this offseason. Over there already is Stu's last moto win of his career, that epic JLaw versus Dungey clash that also involves a young Josh Grant, a classic beast mode moto from Eli, as well as RC setting a record that will never be broken. Thanks as always for checking that out and watching RotoMoto. My name is Donnie. Keep it pinned to the weekend.